installing, programming, and carbon dioxide sensor on your Ventra XT. Just to show you real quick, the Dwyer Series CDWP is the carbon dioxide sensor that we offer that can be used on the Ventra XT. You want to always make sure that you mount this vertically, either hanging like it is right now or mounted to a flat surface, and you always want the wire pointing down as it is here. So now to install this and program it, we go to Menu Hotkey, Control Device Setup, then we highlight Add a Control Device, press Enter. Then we're going to choose from our list carbon dioxide sensor. Highlight it in blue, press Enter, and now we're going to set this up. This is the only dioxide sensor we have in this barn, so it's a number 1. And then you choose the zone that it is in if you have multiple zones. In our case, we only have one zone, so it's Z1. Then we're going to choose the module that this is wired to. Now, this sensor is a 24-volt sensor, so it will go on our new analog input board that will be module 3. It's pre-programmed for that, so you choose module 3, then arrow over, and now we're going to choose the channel that it's wired to. And in our case, we are wired to channel 7, so I'm going to press Enter. And now Enter to confirm. And now we're going to finish setting up our device. Go to Inputs, and then you can arrow over if you choose to do it this way. And there's our carbon dioxide sensor. If you want to go about it another way, you can go back to your channel hotkeys, go to Input Devices, and then there's your carbon dioxide sensor, and it pulls it right up. Now your minimum and maximum is a factory default and is already set for that, so those do not need to be changed. Now you can set an alarm notification based off of a high and a low. Now when setting these, you always want to consider safety recommendations like OSHA when setting alarms for gases, and realize that these sensors are here for general animal productivity and not for emergency notification to be relied on for making decisions regarding human health and safety. With that being said, we probably recommend, or I should say we recommend starting out, according to OSHA, around 5,000 parts per million on the high side for a notification for carbon dioxide. Now on the low side, we'll leave that at 0 because that's not the part we're looking for or worried about. So we're going to set this for 5,000 to alarm on the high side. And again, if your integrator or if you find some documentation that you would like to change that to something different, you may, but we're going to start out at 5,000. Then you can go down and you may now set an alarm delay time if you choose to give it an offset so that, if you want to let it sit for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, in case the barn has time to air a little bit before it alarms, you may do that. I'm going to leave ours on 0, so it'll immediately alarm. Then we also have a setting for installed and expire. Now all of these sensors do have an expiration date, and you want to put on here the date that it was installed. So in our case, it was 09/29 of 2021. Press Enter. And now for the carbon dioxide sensor, the manufacturer recommends changing those a minimum of every 5 years. So we're going to go in here, and 5 years from now, September 29th, 2026, for 5 years, and that will give us a notification that it is time to change your carbon dioxide sensor. Now, one other thing we have to set is our input source type. It factory defaults to 0 to 5 volts DC. Well, the Ventra XT, this particular sensor is 0 to 10 volts DC. So we want to make sure we set that properly. Press enter, and we have now set our carbon dioxide sensor. Now, since we set our carbon dioxide sensor, as we're back on our home screen, we can go to current status, and as you see, our carbon dioxide sensor is reading, and it's showing 7 parts per million at this moment. And you can see where you can put a couple other sensors if you choose. Now, if there are any questions or if you have any issues with your Dwyer carbon dioxide sensor, we will have a separate video on wiring and setting the dip switches inside that. And that's setting up your carbon dioxide sensor.